click on the subscribe button, especially the bell on the right side. Otherwise, you will miss the latest videos.
Namaskar and welcome to Saptarishis Astrology channel. Today's session is most awaited session. This session is on planet Z. And with us today, Mr. Greenstone Lobo ji is here. And I welcome you here. Namaskar, Greenstone ji.
Namaskar. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure being in Saptarishi.
Same here.
And nice meeting you too.
Thank you. So, Loboji, please tell us about Planet Z here, because I think, including me, there are so many viewers from our Saptarishi channel who are waiting for this session. So, please do some introduction about this Planet Z.
Yes. So this started with this thought process that I always had in my mind as to why Sun is called as a planet. Okay, because we all have learned in our school times that Sun is not a planet. Sun is a luminary. Sun is a star. So I always thought that probably there is one planet which is a real planet which actually rules the zodiac sign Leo. So this thought process started from there, and then over a period of time, when I couldn't explain a lot of charts, then I started including. I did a lot of research on this. A huge systematic, proper research which I did on astronomy, which led to those three bodies, which I call them as planet X, Y, and Z. And this X is that, X rules Taurus, Y rules Virgo. And then the Z that we're talking about is a planet which is a true ruler of the zodiac sign Leo. Okay. Yeah.
Great. Interesting. So I think without further delay, I should share the presentation.
Sure. Please.
Okay. Is it visible to you?
Yeah, it's visible to me. Yes.
Yeah. So please go ahead.
So this planet Z, see the Sun, as I said, is a very, very important body. It's not a planet. It's a very important body, and the Sun, according to me, indicates the father, and the Moon indicates the mother. They have very, very, very important role to play in life. Sun is a soul. Sun indicates the soul. Moon indicates our emotion. So there are a lot of importance for that. We're not discarding their importance. We'll talk about Sun and Moon in a later video. My take on Sun and Moon. But as of now, we're talking about planet Z being the ruler of the zodiac sign Leo. So the planet which now if we need to understand planet Z in detail. Planet Z indicates any kind of a thing which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Which is which is an art of. It's all about beauty. It's all about attractiveness. It's all about glamour. It's all about showbiz, TV, entertainment, media, anything which is a thing of beauty. Okay, Venus is there. Venus is probably it's only about maybe the human relationships. But the planet Z goes even beyond that. It talks about a larger paradigm where a person becomes so famous because of your attractiveness, because of the glamour. It makes a person shine like a star. It gives a person huge successes. So this is the true planet of romance. Okay, so love is Venus, but romance at a grander level, at a huge level, is all about planet Z. So planet Z gives the grandeur. Planet Z makes a person a superstar. Planet gives massive success. Okay, planet Z makes a person achieve greater things in life. So this is the planet of relationships, love, and very importantly, romance, and at the same time, fame, popularity, name, superstar, and all that. So the planet, so the body, which rules the ruler of this. If you're going to talk about the Western equivalent, then I would say it is Cupid. Okay. And if you're going to talk about the Indian version, of course, it's going to be Kama. Okay, Kam is the is the lord of attractiveness and beauty and romance. Okay, and he is the ruler of the zodiac sign Leo.
Kamdev.
Kamdev. Yes, of course, Kamdev.
Yeah.
So this is the planet. Okay, so which is responsible for everything: attractiveness, beauty, fame, popularity. Yes. So this planet, if it is strong in a person's chart, it can make a person achieve bigger things in life, great accomplishments. I mean, you're thrown on the stage, and the entire light is on you, and you shine like a star. That is what this planet can do.
So it means all the celebrities, be it Bollywood or Hollywood, so they must be having this planet Cupid. I mean, sorry, Z will be very
Yeah. So
prominent in their chart, right?
planet Z should be prominent, and I mean, of course, there are other planets also which can make someone large. I mean, like something like a Uranus or a Neptune or a Pluto. But this planet Z is the most prominent one for filmdom, for showbiz, for media, for entertainment, for beauty. If it is there, then the person can shine like a star. So real stars are made because of planet Z.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, yes.
So shall I go to the next slide?
Yeah, sure. So we'll have a look into all of those charts where we can see those, Okay, so talking about a little bit more about Cupid, and of course, Kamdev is the one who rules planet Z. As I said before, the own house is Leo. Now, the very important, interesting thing about all the planets which are beyond Saturn are that they have multiple exaltation points. So they just don't exalt in one zodiac sign, because these planets stay, they come into its own house after a long time. So even if the exaltation is also going to happen after a long time, then it's probably a bit of unfair, So probably the creator has been very fair, he ensured that the planets get exalted in more places. So which is really wonderful, because planet Z gets exalted in Libra, in Sagittarius, Pisces, and Taurus.
Yeah.
If you look at them, all these zodiac signs are very artistic and creative in nature.
Yeah.
See, Libra is the most artistic and most creative. One of the the Librans are like naturally adept at creative work, artistic work. Sagittarians love the stage. They love being there and going there and performing. They love all that adulation. Okay, and the own house Leo itself is a showman. It's called as the house of the showman. Leos all are show people. They love the stage. Pisceans are very quietly artistic and very creative. I mean, we all know that. And Taurus, of course, Taurians have the best voices, or they are very, very artistic and talented. So, in all of these zodiac signs, planet Z gets exalted.
Okay.
And one very interesting thing which I've seen is that the deepest exaltation point for the planet Z is 13 degrees. And very interestingly, this happens in each and every of those 4 zodiac signs. So in Libra, 13 degrees, when planet Z comes in, it becomes very deeply exalted. In Sagittarius, in Pisces, and Taurus, all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a very, very amazing thing, which I've always noticed, that 13 degrees is where it gets exalted deeply.
Yeah.
And the fall house, of course, is Aquarius, because it's exactly opposite to Leo.
Yeah.
And the debilitation happens in 4 zodiac signs. It's in Aries, Gemini, Virgo, and Scorpio. And they are exactly opposite to Libra, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Taurus. So these are the non-artistic zodiac signs. So that is where the planet Z is debilitated. Yeah. So it's a very interesting, phenomenon. It took me a lot of research and efforts to find all of this, this one slide. But once we decided, once we were very clear about the fact, after seeing thousands of charts, then when you start applying those, then it's like amazing. So we're going to see 12 charts in 12 houses, and I'm sure it will be a very interesting, time for the people, for the viewers also.
So before going further, I have a question for you here.
Yes.
The details you have given here are regarding planet Z, that is Cupid, Kamadeva.
Yeah.
So if we talk a Vedic astrology, or those concepts, these concepts are a bit different from that concepts, right? Like because own house is Leo, and like if we talk about normally Leo's lord is Sun, and which is debilitated in Libra and exalted in Aries. So these are different concepts, right?
Correct. Absolutely, there's different concepts. It's got nothing to do with that, because in this system, we are not even talking about Sun being a planet.
Yeah.
Sun is a luminary. Sun is very important. We're going to talk about sun's importance in a second in the next video. But right now we are sticking to the Leo being ruled by planet Z or Kamdev.
Yeah, I deliberately talked about it because, when watching this video, viewers may get this confusion. So it will be very beneficial for them to be not to be biased regarding this planet, to understanding or to get proper understanding about this planet. Just unbias yourself and adhere it, I think. And also, also I'm curious about how you have decided these are the exaltation point and these are the debilitation point, and this is a fall house. So, I mean, how you have decided it?
That's a very good question, actually. So what I did was, I mean, like, so every time I didn't find an answer to why a person, has nothing in the chart. I'm going to show you some charts, which you'll see that there is nothing in the horoscope which explains a phenomenon of a person. But when this planet comes in, Z comes in a particular position, you'll see that, wow, okay, this is like amazing. The person's life is like transformed. The person's personality transforms when the planet comes into that particular position. So when you get this, then you apply it also in all the people's charts who were born around that time.
Yeah.
And then you see that, yes, it actually makes a lot of sense. And now you apply it on more hundreds of people, then that rule is formed. So before forming a rule, before putting those 4 lines here, a lot of work has gone into it. Thousands of charts have been deciphered, and only then I mean, this is not just something which we put in here. It has taken a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
So after researching on maybe like around a few thousands of charts, then we have come to the conclusion that yes, planet Z gets exalted here. And even the deepest exaltation point, spent so many hours in research and then, arriving into that.
So on practical data, you derive this, right? Like,
absolutely, it's all practical charts, which is taken from people from daily walk of life and also from celebrities. Yes.
Great. Also, this image makes me curious, like how these 4 ladies are there, and on that Kamadeva is doing the bow.
Yes. Yeah. So Kamdev is actually his wagon is his chariot he rides on a parrot.
Yeah, parrot. That's true.
So parrot. So these the women who are there. Probably he also travels with Rati.
Yeah.
And so the women. He's the ladies' man. Yeah, Kamdeva is a ladies' man. Okay, so he's a charmer of women. So that is what it is showing. And so the parrot is the chariot on which he rides and he goes. And so the bow and arrow is what he's a teacher of love. So
yes.
So that is what he's doing. Yeah.
I can see the peacock is also there, I think.
Correct. Yes, the peacock is also there. Yes.
Because you know what, in our mythology, you can so much learn just from images. Whatever image has been drawn, so you can just learn from the images. Each and every single detail denotes you so many about that particular god, deity, archetype also. So theoretical details is different, but just by images also you can understand what type of that archetype is. Is it Rajas? Is it Tamas, or is it Sattvic?
True.
So just by holding which type of flower, which type of conch, even the bow, even the type of weapon, like the like khada. So
he has a weapon which is flowers as weapons. Wow.
So even they have this bhala and the sword also. So you can see.
Yeah.
I think the bow is made up of sugarcane, actually. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's a very wonderful point that you brought out. It's really amazing. That's a finer details you're looking into. Yeah, that's amazing. Really true.
Yeah, because when we want to understand something, I think our mythology or our shastras are complete in itself. We should develop the eye to understand it.
Correct. Agree.
Okay, so let's go to next slide here.
Yeah, so we're going to look into all those charts we're going to look into 12 charts of 12 people. Okay. And I have deliberately chosen those horoscopes which can only be explained by the planet Z. Okay.
Okay.
So if you look into Meena Kumari's chart, if you look into her chart as such using traditional planets, you will be surprised. You will see that in the 10th house, she has an Amavasya. So she was born in Amavasya with the, like sun and moon not so well placed. So which means, her career was not supposed to be great.
Yeah.
And she has a Mars and Venus in conjunction in the 9th house, which is probably good for a dancer or a sports person. But it does, maybe it indicates actually the tragedies that she had in life, especially connected to the marriage and relationships. But there is no explanation for why she was this beautiful heroine who went on to be a great legend. So, and she was also not just a film star. She was also a poet.
Yes.
She was also a writer. So she was a wonderful lady. Not just good looking, but she also had brains. So this beauty with the brains can only be explained by this planet Z, which is there in exaltation in her first house.
Okay.
And if you see, if you notice properly, it is in 13 degrees. So it is in the deepest exaltation. So Meena Kumari has planet Z in the deepest exaltation in the first house. Now the first house is the house of personality.
Okay.
The first house indicates who you are as a person. It shows your aura, your looks.
Yeah.
The way you are. Okay, what is the status in society? Everything is indicated by the first house, and there she has the planet Z in exaltation, in the deepest exaltation, and that's why she's a film star. So the glamour, the glitz, the showbiz, the media, all of that shines through because of the planet Z in the first house. So she was a superstar because of Z in the first house.
Yeah.
And exaltation. Yeah, it's an exaltation. That's very important. Yeah.
Correct. Also, the first house is like how people will perceive you, how people will see you actually. So
Correct.
They see you as exalted. They see you as completely with, whatever features you have explained about planet Z. So if at all person is not like that from inside, but your outward image is like that, so people will perceive that, right? So,
absolutely true. And even if you look at it, if you look at Meena Kumari's life also, even the first movie which she did was she made a debut in 1939. When Z was exalted. Z was in Sagittarius. It was an exaltation. So Z played a very important role in her life. So if you look at all the children of Z, any planet, in fact, if you're a person who's ruled by Pluto or Uranus or a Neptune or a Saturn, then when that particular planet becomes very prominent, that is when the most important, the life-defining moments happens.
Yeah.
So in case of Meena Kumari, she started very young. And she started as a child artist, and her debut itself happened at a time when Z was exalted. So she was born with the Z exalted in the first house, but then she debuted when Z was exalted in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is one of the most brightest exaltation points for Z, because it indicates showbiz, the stage and the show. Yeah. So she became a superstar because of that.
Yeah. So I think can we say that, like, if I go to the first slide here, this slide. So you have considered exaltation sign from Libra, then Sagittarius, then Pisces or Taurus. So this is a chronological order, or
it's not a chronological order. No. I would say that in fact I would say that depending upon the Pisces, I would say is like I would say that all four almost are equal exaltations, but Pisces I would rate slightly higher. It is the highest point of exaltation, followed by Libra, Sagittarius, and Taurus.
Yeah. So because Sagittarius, if we see by chronological order, so Sagittarius come on third level, and
I would say Libra and Sagittarius is almost like equal. It's like it's equal exaltation points. They're very, very powerful. Taurus, I would say, is like the slightly the lowest, but otherwise Pisces is very high. Pisces gives that mythological figures, So some of the greatest Hollywood actors whom I've seen. I mean, I have not included a lot of Hollywood actors here because the most of the viewers are Indian, so I have not included many of them. But many of those Hollywood top 50 stars, you'll
Yeah.
see most of them have planet Z exalted in Pisces.
Okay.
Yeah. All of those, whom we won't even remember. I mean, we know all these latest Hollywood stars. So those iconic Hollywood stars were there in the 1930s and the 20s and all that. So they all had Pisces, the planets exalted in Pisces.
So those who are interested to look at the planet Z, and after this video, if they want to research on this planet Z, I mean, taking your research further, then how can they do this? Because they do not have because
No, I understand. So what they can do is they can go to truezodiacsign.com.
Yeah.
So there is a calculator in this website called truezodiacsign.com. So there they can just go and feed in any birth data, and they will get a free chart made. So they can read it. So they can see the position of planet Z in that chart, and then they can do their own research. So they can just go and put in the key in the birth details of people born before 100 years, or maybe people who are yet to be born. Okay, and they can see where the planet Z's position is, and they can do their own research.
Yeah. I mean, because this is interesting. So I think some of them will definitely ask this question.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to next chart. Or you want to say anything about it?
No, that's it. I think we can go to the next one.
So this is Bill Gates.
Yes, we're looking at the richest man in the world. I mean, if you're going to talk about the second house, then you can't keep this man away.
Yeah.
Bill Gates is the richest man in the world. And see, Bill Gates, I mean, if you have to be the richest man in the world, then you need to have a lot of planets very, very strongly placed in your chart. I mean, you need to have a strong second house. You need to have a strong fourth house. 11th house is so important for a rich man. And Bill Gates has all of this covered, So now you're looking at the second house. So he has the ascendant for Bill Gates is Cancer. So his second house is Leo. And the second house, obviously, the ruler of that planet is planet Z.
Yeah.
And where do you find planet Z? Planet Z is exalted, and that is in his ninth house. So the planet Z is in exaltation in the ninth house. Okay, so the second lord exalted in ninth house. Ninth house means luck, and your second lord itself is exalted. So you are lucky in money. I mean, a very simple thing is that. Yeah. And if you see it's also exalted in almost in 8 degrees, which is 7.5 degrees, which is a strong exaltation. So that, I mean, there are various factors which makes him rich. I mean, not just rich. He's hugely rich.
Yeah.
One of the factors I would say is the second lord being exalted. Okay, so yeah. So if you're going to explain second house, then I think nothing can explain other than Bill Gates' chart. Yeah.
It's so interesting that Moon is alone there, right? I mean, there is no planet conjuncted with Moon, or there is no planet ahead or behind. So even in the Pisces, there's the highest sign of in natural zodiac, I mean, Kal Purush Kundli, that's the last exit place.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is coming on the ninth house, right? All this is happening in ninth house. Ninth house is your dharma. So maybe dharma and your destiny also, bhagya also. So he was bound to be like that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's time to do this big stuff.
Correct. That's very true. There is no question about that. And also for people who would want to do any further research, I would say even the company that is established, that is Microsoft, was made in 1975 when Z was in its own house.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And just before we were talking about the highest exaltation point, right? Your Pisces. So you were talking about the Pisces who are the little higher level of exaltation point for planet Z. And here it is.
Yes.
So you can see how big and huge personality is this.
Correct. Simple. So these planets play magic. So this is a real planet of magic. Planet Z really weaves magic in people's lives. He has so many factors which makes him Bill Gates. I mean, Pluto and Neptune and the X. But Z is his second lord, which is in the deepest exaltation and in the deepest point, which is Pisces. and that's the reason why he is Bill Gates.
So, like the way you have told us about the positive side of Planet Z, so do you think there is some dark side or negative side of Planet Z that you want to tell us about?
Yeah, definitely. So what it can do is it can bring down. See, the planet Z is the one which gives you popularity and fame.
Yeah.
So if it is not well placed, then you will be defamed, or you will not have good relationships. You will be. I mean, people who reach higher levels, but then they are, they fall down from grace.
Okay.
That is, if you have a Z weekly place, then you will fall from grace.
Yeah.
Most of the relationship issues are because of planet Z not being well placed.
Oh, great. That's a important point, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. So if Z is not well placed, then relationships can go for a toss. And Z well placed can give you recognition. I mean, if you're looking at a very simple thing like a recognition in career, there would be people, sitting in a room. You'll see that the person on the left, on your right, goes and receives awards, but you're sitting there quietly doing nothing. If that is the case, if you look into your chart, you may find the Z in a weaker position. So probably the applause is not coming your way because Z is not well placed. Simple things like that. I mean, in mine and your life, Z plays out like that. Recognition, simple recognition. You're not being recognized in your organization for doing the hard work. If it is Z is not well placed, it can mean that.
Yeah. So I think one more point just came to my mind while you were explaining about it. That if we talk about Kamadeva, so Kamadeva is associated with Rasapan. I mean the alcohol. That plus also the god of love and obsession also, right?
Yes.
So I think to add to the negative traits, I think if it is not at all placed good, then obsession will be one more factor here, right?
Definitely, an obsession to all the pleasurable things.
And also stalker, I guess.
Also what?
Stalker.
Yeah, definitely, yes. All sorts of obsessions, yes.
Yeah, because just to take a gaze at what are the attributes of this deity like Kamadeva, so you can understand what are the features, and if at all it is not good, then what can be wrong. So these you can understand by that.
Correct. True. So obsession towards everything which is beautiful, pleasurable, which gives you pleasure, all of those things can be indicated by the Z's negative position. Yes. And then many times, of course, it also depends on which house it falls in your chart. So
which house, which Rashi, both. Which Rashi? Yes, I think because till now we have seen it has fallen in the watery sign, so that has given good.
Okay.
Right.
No, Libra was not a watery sign. No? For Meena Kumari, it is in Libra, which is a air sign.
Yeah. So I was talking about the 10th house of Meena Kumari.
Okay. Yeah.
Sun and Moon. So because you started with that, so I was remembering that point, and I was trying to understand how that planet Z is working out here.
Correct. True.
So let's go to next slide then.
Yes.
So.
Okay, so this is Hugo Lloris. I mean, I don't know, some of the viewers would have seen my video on World Cup, okay, where I had posted that France or Argentina will go on to win the World Cup. And this was completely on the basis of one planet, and that is planet Z. So in 1986 and 1987, this planet Z reached its deepest exaltation point, which is 13 degrees. So I was very sure that, someone who's born with a Z in 12 or 13 degrees should be the one who should win the World Cup. So that's the reason I had predicted that it can be either France or Argentina, and whose captain is Messi, and he also has planet Z in deep exaltation. Okay. And we all know that, Hugo Lloris, the French captain, won it. And very interestingly, if you see, for Hugo Lloris, it is the third lord. So for him, it rules the hands. And he is the goalkeeper. So goalkeepers have to use their hands. I mean, the third house indicates hands.
Yes.
And his third lord is exalted in fifth house. So fifth house indicates fame. So third lord being exalted in the fifth house has given him fame because of using your hands. And he's the one who's lifting the World Cup. Okay, so again, using the hands. So this image will stay etched in memories of French people forever. Okay, and very interestingly, what I would also want to mention here is that all of these things happened. I mean, some of the people who are into sports, they will know that in Euro Cup, what happened in Euro Cup was that which happened 2 years before in 2016. France reached the finals, but then they lost. And very interestingly, this happened when it happened. The Euro Cup happened in France itself, and they lost it. Then the World Cup happened in Russia, and France went there and won it. And you know what was there happening at that point of time? I want to say something very beautiful here is that the planet Z was in exaltation in the 12th house of Hugo Lloris.
Oh, okay.
It's now in Taurus. See, if you look at that, the planets on the transit of Z in 2018, you will see that it is in Taurus. Okay, so Taurus is the 12th house of Hugo Lloris.
It's 2019, right? May 2019.
Till May 2019, it is in Taurus. This is till. I mean, what you're writing here is so from May 2016 till May 2019, planet Z is in Taurus.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happened is the last time when they played at home, he couldn't win. But this time it was played away from home in a foreign country, and planet Z was exactly transiting his 12th house, and 12th house is the house of foreign countries. So Hugo Lloris went to a foreign country and he won the World Cup. So which is an amazing correlation. So that is exactly the reason, because I saw that the planet was transiting his 12th house, and that is the reason I wrote an article saying that France is the country which will win the World Cup.
Okay.
And if you see, again, Hugo Lloris also has planet Z exactly in 13 degrees, 12 point something, which is 13 degrees Libra. Yeah. Almost same degrees as Meena Kumari. So he's the Meena Kumari in sports. A legend in sports. Yeah.
Okay. You talked about Mercury, right? Hands. Third house, you said.
The third house for him is Leo.
Leo, yeah. I was wondering that.
Leo, maybe... And that is ruled by, yeah.
Sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, so the third house rules, for him it is third house, the Leo is third house, and the third house indicates the hands, and he is a goalkeeper whose job is to collect the ball with the hands, and he needs to have the most powerful hands, and because of which he also got the fame. So his fame, which is the planet Z, is exalted in the fifth house, and which is the third lord, so because of which he got fame using his hands. And you were saying something about Gemini and Mercury, sorry.
Yeah, I was, because third house is Leo, right?
Yeah.
And by natural, by Vedic astrology, Leo Lord is Sun, which is sitting with Mercury and Neptune. So Mercury being the natural third lord of hands, and Sun, which is a natural fifth lord of fame and your talent. So which is also planet Z is there. So there is a connection. There's a strong connection happening with these three houses, right?
Correct. Yeah. And Sun, Mercury, both of them are placed in the seventh house. Seventh house also indicates the beating your opponents.
Yeah, other people. Correct.
So beating your opponents, and that is where he has the Sun, Mercury. So he has bet the opponents using his hands. So that is also there. True. Very true. Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
So next.
Yes, we go to the next chart now. Okay, now here I would want to sort of, in this chart, what we're doing is I'm showing the negative impact of having a planet Z.
Interesting.
Yeah. So here, what has happened? I mean, we can't be only showing positive. So we are showing here a negative placement of Z. Z in this case is debilitated. Okay, and Z is debilitated and is placed in the fourth house. And we all know what fourth house is. Okay, what fourth house stands for. Fourth house stands for your home. It indicates your homeland. It also indicates your mother. Okay, and it indicates family. Basically, what happens in your family. And for Rajiv Gandhi, okay, all of these things were troubles. Okay, all of these things, areas where he had trouble. I mean, Rajiv Gandhi lost his mother. Okay. His mother, he lost his mother in the most gruesome way that you can ever think of. Okay. He lost his brother in the most gruesome way that you can think of. He died in an accident. So his family itself was like, his family was, and he entered into politics because he was forced to enter into politics because his mother passed away.
Yeah.
He was a reluctant politician. So everything going wrong at home, okay, was the reason why he had to go into politics. So all of those negative things happening to his mother and to his family is what is clearly indicated by the presence of planet Z in the 4th house. And that too in debilitation. It's in debilitation here.
Correct.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, true. Yeah,
so many planets in first house, right? So many people on head.
Yes, and there are so many planets on his first house. He's born with a new moon in the first house.
Yeah.
The new moon, the sun and the moon, as I said always, that it indicates your parents. So the sun indicates the father, and the moon indicates the mother. So he belonged to a royal family. He comes from a very good, the family background. So the first house indicates who you are as a person. So Rajiv Gandhi inherited a legacy. So for him, he became a big man. He was born into a family, and he was by only his birth itself, he has acquired his greatness. So his greatness comes from the fact that he's born in the Gandhi family. He was the son of Indira Gandhi. So that legacy is shown by the sun and the moon in the first house, the new moon in the first house. And of course, but the problems associated with this chart is indicated by the X and the Z. Okay, and the Z, of course, made his family. We're focusing on the family here. So Z indicates family troubles that the family went through.
Yeah. Because also all these planets, like the good planets, also they are hemmed with Mars and Rahu. Also Saturn is also aspecting there. So it's like so much on Lagnasthan, right? On
Yeah, even the 12th Lord Chiron is there in the first house.
Yeah.
Which means he's supposed to end in a loss. That's also there. There are so many things which are seen in the planet. His chart is very, very fascinating. I would say his entire life was fascinating. If you look into the chart, you know that it's a very unfortunate life. Despite being in a great family, he went through some of the worst things that person can go through, and then he died a gory death, which no one unimaginably gory death.
Yeah.
And even after he died, even now there are so many controversies associated with him. So it's not ending. It's a never-ending story. So all of that attributed, of course, to planet X, and the problems we are talking about his family can be connected to the Z.
Great. So next is Lady Gaga.
Yes, so we have another, popular personality here, and she has Z in almost 9 degrees, okay, which is very closer to the deep exaltation. And she has her Z is almost exactly the same like Hugo Lloris. The only thing, see the fascinating way Z has manifested here. Z is her 3rd lord exalted in the 5th house, same like Hugo Lloris.
Yeah.
Now, the 3rd house indicates the hands. The 3rd house also indicates your throat, your voice. Okay, your voice is indicated by the 3rd house, and she is famous. She is popular, and the 5th house indicates fame, popularity, showbiz, media, entertainment, and she has that planet in the 5th house of entertainment. So she's a singer and she's an entertainer. And this is very, very clearly explained. Who is Lady Gaga is explained by the simple one planet, which is planet Z.
Interesting. It's again happening in Libra, right?
Yes. It's Libra. So these generation, if you look at the generation born between 85 to 87, they all have Z in Libra. We're also looking at some people who are born before that. And one important thing that I also want to mention here is that Lady Gaga's debut happened in 2001 when Z was exalted in Sagittarius, which is the 7th house. And 7th house again is one of the houses which indicates your influence on people, okay, and your fame and popularity. So 2001 is when Z was in Sagittarius, and that is when she debuted. So that once again shows the influence of Z in her life.
Yeah.
So and she's a great show person, like, I mean, she goes on stage and the lot of shocking things that she does on stage is amazing. And that show woman that she is, and the show lady that she is, and she's a star on the stage, and all of that can be attributed to the simple planet Z being exalted in the fifth house.
Yeah. Very strange choices also. Lady Gaga is also famous for very strange choices, very strange things. A Rahu element is very popular with that lady, I think.
Yeah, that could be. And also she's an Aquarian. I mean, she has a Mercury in Aquarius, which also makes her something very wacky. She's very wacky and very inventive,
Yeah.
And so probably even maybe that is also another reason. Yeah.
With her costumes, I mean, I have seen, she's so off-bit, like, you will never ever imagine, or you will never expect, and those things she will come up with those different ideas.
Yeah.
So
Aquarians love that shock value, adding shock value to people, to anything that they do. So she does that.
Yeah, true.
So that's really
interesting. So let's go to next chart.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have Mr. Dravid. Okay, see, I mean, like, there are so many legends that we had in Indian cricket, but my personal favorite is Rahul Dravid.
Yeah.
He ranks very, very high on my personal list. I mean, this is just a personal because the one reason is because he is a man who has been selflessly doing it for the team.
Yeah.
He's a quintessential team man. He used to sacrifice himself on the altar of the Indian cricket. He was never a person who had any kind of a selfish intention. So when the team wanted him to, don the gloves, he did that. When the team wanted him to go and bat one down, he did that. He can open if you want him to. I mean, he played everything. He was a sacrificial lamb. Okay, and that can be only done by a guy who has a sixth house strong.
Oh, yeah.
Because the sixth house guys are the ones who are the dogged people, who are your, it's a service. No? Sixth house is a house of service. Servitude. It's a house of servitude. You are the servant. You're working like a servant for the Indian cricket. This man has done that. Okay, he used to do everything. Every hard work that you can think of was done by this gentleman. And he used to go and take all the blows on his body when the first wicket falls. Okay, standing like a wall. Okay, and they called him the wall. And he did that. I mean, taking all that pain on your body is all that planet sixth house guy can only do that.
Correct.
Okay, so typical workaholic, typical workman-like, the self-sacrificial lamb that he was for Indian cricket. I think he personifies the planet Z in the sixth house. Okay, so it's an amazing chart. I mean, I really feel that this is one chart which really signifies, very clearly brings out the essence of what planet Z can do, even in a tough house like a sixth house.
Yeah. I mean, I can get one more reason here, that see, it is happening in sixth house, but the sign is Leo, right? Leo is a fiery sign, so all the fiery signs are Dharma Trikon, and only fiery signs, or the fire has a quality to not get polluted by anything. You cannot pollute fire, right? So you cannot pollute their whichever aspects or whichever signification they are in the houses, like in the chart. So whatever that house is signifying, you cannot pollute that house because of the fire sign, because that quality is coming from fire. So you cannot pollute his deeds.
True.
Selflessly, because it's like Leo, then Sagittarius, and the Aries.
True. Very true. Yeah, true. And one more thing that I would like to also add here is that Rahul Dravid achieved greatness during 2001 to 2003. So that was the greatest patch of his life, when he formed this epic partnership with VVS Lakshman and won the series against Australia. Then in 2003, he was the vice captain for Indian cricket team under Saurav Ganguly. Then India went and played till the finals. They reached the finals. This was also the time when Rahul Dravid hit 3 double centuries. Okay,
Yeah.
and then he was a man of the series against Australia. He captained one series against Pakistan and won that. So all of these things happened between 2001 to 2003 when Z got exalted in his 10th house of career.
Okay, great. Sagittarius.
Yes. And he was on stage doing all of this grand stuff. I mean, hitting 3 centuries, 3 double centuries is like, wow, it's a pinnacle of test playing glory. He achieved his pinnacle during that time. So planet Z played out his role. Its role. When it reached his 10th house of career, that's exactly when he reached the pinnacle of career.
Okay. Okay. Great. Interesting.
Yeah.
So the next chart.
Yes, this is Arnold. Okay, he's a very, very popular man in India. And Arnold's, life cannot be explained without planet Z. Arnold, first of all, he's an actor. Very interesting thing about him is that, he comes from a foreign country. I mean, he's not an American. He was born in Austria. He's an Austrian. Okay. But then he came to US, and then he not only became a film star, a very, very popular international film star, but he even went on to be a politician. And he became a governor. Okay. And people wouldn't be surprised even if he runs for the president. Okay. So the point here is that he, being a politician, has to be, or can only be can only be seen if you look into the 7th house, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because 7th house is the house of politics. 7th house indicates your influence on other people.
Other people.
Yes. Okay. I mean, if you look at, let's say, the Prime Minister of our country, okay, Modi, Mr. Modi has planet X in exaltation in the 7th house. Most of the American presidents have some very strong planets exalted in the 7th house. And what does Mr. Schwarzenegger have? He has the planet Z in exaltation in the 7th house. Okay, so that is what makes him that actually gives him both the things. One is it's a film star because 7th house also indicates movies. 7th house also indicates influence on people through artistic and creative work. So he was doing that. So Z is the planet of artistic creativity, and because of also being in the movies, very popular, and he also became a politician. Okay, 7th house also indicates politics, and that is exactly where he has Z, which is like a double whammy, So, so Arnold's being the film actor and also being a politician can only be explained by the Z in the 7th house.
Wow. Great.
And one very interesting thing I also want to say here is that Arnold was elected for the first time to the senator, whatever the, the political thing, in 2003.
Yeah.
When Z came exactly into Sagittarius.
Okay. Interesting.
So Z came to Sagittarius after one full round of 60 years, and that is exactly when he became the elected to his whatever the Senate or whatever he has to go. So
yeah,
which is amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting is that how these are panning out exactly when the planet Z is transiting to their exaltation point, and then they are getting exposed and in the limelight. Highest
Correct.
of.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Leander Paes.
Yeah, so another very, very popular, sports icon in the country, and you can see that Z is exalted in the Z is in its own house, in the 8th house. So 8th house is the natural house of sports, and 8th house indicates fights. 8th house indicates regeneration. 8th house indicates coming back from the dead. I mean, this was one man who started, we don't know how many years ago he started playing. And he's always been playing. He got one bronze in 1996. Okay, and then he won another medal now recently. So this guy's been going on and on and on and on. Age is never a bar. Okay, and he's 45 and he's still really rocking. He can still, there is always a Grand Slam which is always in sight. So this entire agelessness of Leander Paes can only be explained by the position of planet Z in the 8th house. So the 6th house and the 8th house are the houses which indicate sports in a major way, and he has planets, a lot of planets in the 6th house, but of course Z in the 8th house is what gives him that kind of a great popularity.
Interesting. So we say in Hindi that lambi race ka ghoda, like, long. So it fits on him. Great.
Yeah. And for any people who are interested, Leander Paes also turned professional. He became a professional tennis player in 1991 when Z got exalted in Libra. Okay, so that came exalted into his 10th house of career. That's exactly when he turned a professional.
Yeah. Correct. So you said this, right? January 1992, Libra.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1991, he turned a professional, which is when the 8th Lord got exalted in 10th house. 8th house indicates sports, 10th house indicates career, and that planet got exalted in the 10th house, and that is exactly when he turned a professional. And he started playing professional tennis from 1991.
Great. So the next chart is, here's the writer.
Chetan Bhagat. So, if you see any author, writers, philosophers, teachers, coaches, mentors, guides, they all need to have very, very powerful 9th house. Okay, and Chetan Bhagat has that planet is there in the 9th house. The planet Z is in the 9th house. Okay, and so which is like amazing. Isn't it? So, and very, very interestingly. There are so many other things which indicate he is born on a new moon day, so he has sun and moon in the 5th house, which is one of the reasons why his novels have been more made into movies, because 5th house indicates movies.
Correct.
But at the same time, don't forget that the movie connection also comes from the fact that his Z is also the indicator of Leo. Yeah, is the indicator of glamour, and there in the 9th house, which is Leo. Okay,
correct.
And one more tidbit for you is that the planet Z was in Sagittarius in his ascendant when his first novel, The 5 Point Someone, was launched in 2004. So his very debut novel was launched on the right time when planet Z was exalted in the ascendant. Okay, so 9th Lord getting exalted in the ascendant made him a star, made him a writer, made him a great author. And he's the biggest, highest selling author ever from the country.
Correct. Young author, correct.
And all of that attributed to the 9th house placement of planet Z.
Interesting. And that to be Leo, so it's like, a height of your creativity, talent.
True. He's a leader in creativity.
Yes. So next is Hrithik Roshan. Okay.
Yeah. So Hrithik being a film star, if you look into his chart, if you don't include any of the planets that we are talking about, okay, using traditional planets, you can never make out why he's a film star. He has a Jupiter debilitated in the 3rd house. His Mars is in 6th house. His Saturn is in 8th house. His moon is in the 9th house, which is in its own house. Okay, but then there is nothing so great about it. So using you look at Sun and Mercury in the 2nd house, so he should have been a businessman. Yeah. So there is nothing in the chart which shows that Hrithik Roshan is a film star. He belongs to the glamour industry, the movie industry. Okay, a film icon, a superstar. That is never, you cannot look into his chart and make out.
Yeah.
Add this one planet, Z, in its own house, in the 10th house, it's magic. Okay. So the magic of Hrithik Roshan can only be attributed to the planet Z in its own house, in the 10th house of career. So what is his career? His career is glamour. His career is dance. His career is movies, films, stardom is his career. So that's...
Dance is prominence, actually. The way the type of flexibility he has, I think very few people in film industry has that.
Correct. So even maybe the Mars adds to that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but his is superstardom cannot be explained only by Mars. That can only be explained when you look at the planet Z in own house in the 10th house, So that is very important. I mean, you can have Z in just in the 10th house place. That will not make you a superstar. You need to have it exalted or in own house. And because he has it in the own house, that makes him a superstar.
Interesting.
And I'm going to give you if any more tidbit. I would say the first movie of Hrithik Roshan was launched in 2000.
Kaho Na Pyar.
Kaho Na Pyar Hai. Okay, and Kaho Na Pyar Hai was launched when Z was in Sagittarius. Okay, so that is an exaltation again. So Z got exalted, and he was a superstar. He was an overnight superstar.
Yeah.
Okay, that can only be attributed to Z's exaltation. So his debut actually again happened during Z's times.
Interesting. Okay.
So we are looking at a businessman here, and so Bill Gates or Dhirubhai Ambani, if you're looking into their charts, a businessman has the second house very powerful, ninth house very powerful, 10th house many times, but 11th house is an extremely important house for a business person. Because the 11th house, the second and 11th house, these two are the most important houses. The second house indicates money, wealth. The 11th house indicates the ROI, the return on your investment. Whatever I invested, what kind of money am I going to get back?
Yeah.
So these two houses has to be very powerful. And that is exactly what Dhirubhai Ambani has. He's got an X exalted in the second house, which is the sixth lord. Sixth house indicates industries. So that is the reason he's an industrialist. But you need to have the 11th house very powerful. And there he has Z in exaltation. And Z is his ninth lord. The ninth house indicates luck. So he was very, very lucky in his transactions, and he was very, very lucky on his investments. So whatever he invested, the return on investment was very high. So if you need to be a very, very successful business person, then you need to have a very powerful 11th house. And he had a very, very strong 11th house. And mind you, he was also a very popular businessman. Okay, so your popularity as a businessman also comes from the fact that, his Z was exalted.
Correct. Interesting.
Yeah. And a few more tidbits. Reliance was incorporated on the 8th of May 1973. And the first public issue was launched on 28th of June 1975. Both the times, Planet Z was in its own house, in the 9th house of Mr. Ambani, in the house of luck.
Wow. Interesting. Maybe that could be the reason Reliance is the only industry which you can find or you can find this industry, on such places or such remote places. They go and plan their towers, and they come up with great things. Actually, they are the first.
Yeah. So Reliance is the largest industrial house in the country, and the largest wealth producer in the country. They have made more millionaires than any other company has made. Even common when people have become rich because of Reliance. Okay, so all of that comes from this one man, Dhirubhai Ambani. Okay, and he has the house of profits. Okay, is exalted. The Z is exalted. What else do you want? So that makes him a legend.
Interesting. So, okay. So here is the Miss World.
So finally, we are coming to the Aishwarya Rai. Okay, Aishwarya Rai Bachchan. Okay, now, if you look into her chart, see, we need to understand that. Okay, first of all, Aishwarya Rai before she became a superstar, a film star. This chart is an amazing example of how this planet Z can play out. Aishwarya Rai, even before she became a film star, what was she known for?
Yeah, she was doing modeling, I guess, right?
Yeah, but the modeling also, before she became we all know as an Aishwarya Rai, if you think of her, we think of her as a Devdas or a Mohabbatein or whatever the movie's heroine,
Yeah.
But we forget conveniently one important thing that happened in her life, and she was a Miss World.
Yeah, Miss World.
So that is what was a starting point of her career, isn't it?
Correct.
So the Miss World, where is the Miss World seen in the chart? The Miss World is seen in the chart in her 12th house. Because Aishwarya Rai went to a foreign country. She contested with 50, 60, 70 participants there. And she emerged victorious she became a Miss World. And very, very importantly, look at that planet. Okay, the planet is Z, the planet which indicates beauty. So Aishwarya Rai didn't win a swimming competition. Okay, she won a beauty competition. So the beauty contest is indicated by planet Z, and that is in the 12th house, and 12th house indicates foreign country. So she went to a foreign country and won an international competition. 12th house also indicates international success. Okay, so she got an international success because of winning an international competition. Okay, and that international competition, Miss World winning, is indicated by the planet Z, which is placed in her 12th house. Okay, and we all know that, even now she goes to Cannes, and she's a jury, she's a part of the jury. So she has an international, anyway, she has an international appeal even otherwise. Okay.
Yeah.
All of them comes from the planet Z. Yeah. And interestingly, even after winning the crown in 1994, Aishwarya didn't make it big, for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
She was struggling. She was doing small roles, and all of those things were happening. And then suddenly, from Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, okay, her graph started. And this was launched in somewhere in 1999, 2000. That is the time when planet Z came into exaltation. And from 2000 till 2005, Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, Kantugunde, Mohabbatein, Pride and Prejudice, Devdas, all of these iconic movies of hers were launched. And that is when she became the number one in the industry. So Z got exalted, and Aishwarya became the number one.
Great. So you're talking about when it was in Sagittarius?
It was in Sagittarius, yes.
Yeah. Correct. So 5 years from Z, if we say first year to Z, and second to the Lagna, third to your second house, fourth to your third house, and fifth to your fourth house. The fourth house is mass fame. Majority of so here it can we can see that Rahu is there, which is also Karaka of your mass fame. Venus is there, plus the exaltation point of planet Z. To make sense.
True.
Interesting. So I think.
So that is the end of the horoscopes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so these are some of the events. We can actually make a huge list of events which has happened during the planet Z's times. But I just thought let's put a few of them here. Okay. Yeah. So many of them are connected to the entertainment industry or something which is connected to. Some very interesting stuff like we can look at here. So the first color television was launched in 1921. So now, adding color to life. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about planet Z being a planet which brings in the color, which brings in that joy, which brings in that, the beauty, okay, in your life. And that was happened in 1929 when Z was in exaltation. And Disneyland, okay, which is a wonderland, which is an entertainment park, okay, and children love that place. And that was launched when Z was in exaltation again, okay. And there are so many events again. Dopamine. I was very surprised by this whole thing. Very interesting thing.
So interesting about dopamine.
This is like wow. This is a wow thing for me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So dopamine is that chemical which is responsible for that. It's called as a pleasure center. It is the the chemical for pleasure, desire, motivation. So if the dopamine is high, then you're self-motivated.
Yeah, it gives you feel-good factor.
Feel-good factor, absolutely.
Which, like when
you do your exercise, then the dopamine is released. Yeah. So the feel, as you rightly said, absolutely rightly said, it's the feel-good factor which comes after doing something nice.
Even you feel something good, the dishes which you like most, and if you eat it, then also the dopamine is released.
Absolutely. I'm sure after this video is released, I'll have a lot of release of dopamine. Okay. So dopamine is such an important chemical component, and that was actually, discovered when Z was in exaltation. Okay. Yeah. So, and even if you look at some great bands, most of them have come together when Z was in a very strong position. So Beatles performed together for the first time when Z was exalted. The video games, kids are like so addicted to the video games these days. I mean, every kid around the world, you would say that they are living an alternate life in that entertainment in that small box,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
play the video games. And that was again, launched when the Z was in its own house. The
Oh.
World Trade Center, I mean, which became an iconic tower, okay, that was done when Z was in its own house. Microsoft launched the Windows when Z was exalted. Okay, and the first laptop, your entertainment or your work in one package, small package. So all of those things, even something like an antidepressant. See, I mean, when you're depressed, your mind is, not working. And you also said that sometime before, if you remember, Saritaji, you said that, the addictions can be connected to, the planet Z in some way if it is negatively placed. So depression is caused by, can be also because of it's a mind thing. Your mind is not seeking pleasure, or it is depressed. So an antidepressant was launched during the planet Z's time, because it is ensuring that the mind is coming out of this depression. So all of these, various stuff are during planet X's times.
So this World Trade Center here, it was, you mentioned 1973 for when it was opened. So when it was vanished actually, so it was, I can see the fall, right? I mean,
Yeah. It wasn't. Yeah. Yes, you're right.
came to my mind that it was exactly on that point only when it was
Correct.
the fallen sign of Aquarius, right?
Yes. Wow. You caught it. You are right. It was in Kapta. Which year was
2000,
it?
I think, no? 9/11, 2000?
2000 or 2001?
2001?
2001.
Oh, I'm
When
also,
was it? Let's Google it.
yeah.
September 11. So
That was
2000.
2001.
Yes.
Yeah.
2001 when it was in Sagittarius, when it was exalted. It was exalted, yes. So even for the even for the wrong reasons, it became popular for the wrong reasons again, isn't it? So
Yeah.
I'm sure it must have come into a wrong house. The planet Z must have come into a wrong house. It was exalted, but it would have happened in the wrong house, and that's the reason it would have come down. We
Yeah,
need to check
because
this out.
still we are hearing so many conspired stories about World Trade Center and vanishing of. So, I mean, there are a lot of documentaries regarding this mishap, and all are denoting about the conspiracy theories. Actually, they are coming up with the conspiracy theories. So it was
Correct.
not easy to bring that building down, but somehow it was like, I don't know. I mean, very brutal. Yeah.
Yeah. True. Yes, so it's like it's an amazing planet. So what I would want to say is that so some of the people who would be watching this video may even dismiss off saying that I suck, how can you talk about some body which no one knows, and you're calling it, you are assigning it to a particular zodiac sign, and you're saying that this is a planet which rules this, and this planet gets exalted and all that. I would only say that don't judge, okay, before you apply it yourself. I would say that the website is open for you. The truezodiacsign.com is a free tool that I have made it available so that you people can actually go and check it for yourself. You can go put in the birth details of all the people who were born in the 80s, the 85, 86, 87, and see which house it falls in. And you'll be surprised to see the impact of the planet Z. Okay, and you also go and experiment on all more hundreds of horoscopes. Look into charts of people who are born before 50 years, 30 years, 70 years, and see where the Z is. Look at the people who were born in the 1920s, 25, 28, 29, 30, 31. Z was exalted. So look into those years, and when you apply the planet, you will find the magic. So don't just dismiss it off. Apply it, see it for yourself, and then you dismiss it.
Yeah, before rejecting, we need to test it properly. We need to be patient regarding this, and not just on one chart, not just on 10 charts, at least 50, 100 charts, and then we can come to some conclusion.
Correct.
Yeah, is it working or not? And also, like, be it planet Z or planet X or planet Y, I think astrology is a matter of research also. because right now in this era we are here, and we cannot apply those exactly to the point. I mean, whatever is written in the classic, we cannot apply it as it is. We have to interpret in this era how it is
True.
working.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because astrology was written for kings and kingdoms. Now there is no king and no kingdom.
Yeah.
So like Raj Yoga, if we talk about Raj Yoga, then if we talk about beggar having a Raj Yoga, so what will be the Raj Yoga for beggar?
True.
Maybe having good food in 5-star hotel, it's a Raj Yoga for him.
Correct. True.
How we interpret that knowledge, and furthermore research is required here.
Or the rag picker, like who became a millionaire when he picked up a rag, on the soda bottle there was on the back of it there was this ticket, which made him a millionaire. It can be like that. That can be a Raj Yoga for him.
Yeah, actually, I can relate with that too. Yes, right. So yeah, we need to research on it, and I think we need to test it. So I appeal to all the viewers here, after watching this video, go to that website which Mr. Lobo has mentioned here, and do your research, and then come up with your experience and share with us.
True. Yeah, please do share with us. Yeah, that's very important. Yes.
So you want to say something, or can we call it a day then?
Yeah. So I would once again thank you so much, Saptarishi. And okay, one interesting thing that I also want to share you here is that Sunilji, our very own Sunil John, okay, he has planet Z in the 3rd house, okay, in its own house. So he has the planet Z in the own house, and that is why he's a communicator. He's a talker. He's into the business of communication. He was also into media before. So even planet Z indicates media. So he was in media, he was in communication, and even now he's into the business of communication. So all of that can be attributed. I mean, if you're talking about Sunil John, so that is planet Z. Okay. So yeah, so planet Z plays a lot of role in every one of us lives. So don't dismiss it off. Okay, and thank you so much, Saptarishi, for calling me here. Thank you so much, Sarita ji, for being the host. You've been wonderful always. Nice to see your smiling face again. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And thank you for giving us time and your beautiful research, sharing it with us. So I think all the viewers will get benefit of it, and they will share their experience also. And thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.